Good morning, YouTube. Today, I'm going to tell you the top 11 cars that I've driven.
So are you recording all of the nefarious activities?
If you're new to the channel, my name is Dan, and this is our dealership, NG Supercars. Someone commented in one of our videos the other day and said, hey, you've driven a lot of cars over the years. What are your top cars? What are your favorite cars? And I thought that was a great video because I've been super fortunate to drive a lot of cars and especially a lot of Ferraris. So obviously this list is going to lean very heavy on the Ferrari side, but I've been super fortunate in the last decade to drive some amazing cars. So I thought about it. I think I got a list and I decided to make it 11 cars because there's one that, well, I just had to get in there. So I want to first start off with, there's some notable cars that I have not driven yet. And I don't know that any of these cars would necessarily make the list, but I just wanted to point this out. First of all, in the Ferrari world, I've never driven a 328. So I've driven 308s, 348s, almost everything in that era and later, but not the 328. I've also never driven a Mondial. Now, I wanted to bring up the Mondial only because it gets so much crap for its looks. It's not, let's admit it, it's not that great of a looking Ferrari, but it's supposed to drive really well and drive like a Ferrari and be really fun. So I want to try one sometime. I've also never driven a Daytona. That is on, well, the old Daytona. Actually, I've never driven the old Daytona or the new Daytona. Same thing with the Countach. I've never driven a Countach. I've sat in them. They are uncomfortable. They look awful, but I have never driven one, so I'd like to. I've never basically driven any of the pre-1980s Ferraris, so none of the old stuff, you know, 250, 275s, Dino 246, none of those. And I haven't really driven any of the main halo cars of the modern era. So I've never driven like the McLaren P1 or the F1 for that matter, the Carrera GT, the Porsche 918 Spider, the LaFerrari, any of the SP cars, the SP3 in particular is on my short list of cars I want to try someday. And I haven't driven a few of the McLaren special cars. So I've driven most of the McLarens, but I've never driven a 765 LT or a 675 LT. So I'd like to try those. But that being said, I've driven most of the major brands of supercars and most of their products, certainly in the last 25 years. So let's kick it off with one of my favorite cars I've driven, believe it or not, is actually wide body Hellcat and in the same note, the Dodge Demon. I have not one, but two Hellcats. I think they're really, really fun cars, especially the wide body Hellcat we had. It actually had really good handling. It is a big car, but the power was so extreme that just made it a lot of fun. And of course, it just makes crazy noises with the blower and exhaust and everything. So I really, really enjoyed that car.
Jesus. It feels much quicker in the passenger seat.
Close in that range is also the Shelby GT500s. The latest version of it, I think, is just an outstanding car. So that's number 10 on my list. Super fast, super powerful, very fun, handles great, comfortable, drives well. There is so much positive about that car. If you find one that's got some miles on it and it's depreciated, you can get them well under $100,000. It is a special car. It is amazing. I really, really like that car. Coming in at number 9, the McLaren 600 LT.
Oh, holy!
I've driven, you know, the 720S, the 650, the 570, a bunch of other stuff in the McLaren world, and the 600 LT is a special car. It is truly fun. I would never own one because of the maintenance and the unreliability of it, but it is super, super fun to drive. I absolutely enjoyed driving the crap out of that car. It is really fun. And I think that's one of Meg's favorite cars too. All right, so this one gets on the list because it just provides a unique experience. I actually think my number 8 would be the Murcielago.
Okay, there we go. Doors that goes like this. Not like this, not like this, but like this.
A f***ing car whose doors open like this. Not like this. Not like this.
It's an awful car. It is absolutely horrible. It drives like shit, and it is so much fun. It makes incredible sounds. It's big, it's wide, it's a pain in the ass, and yet when you drive it, you're just smiling ear to ear the whole time. Like, it's just so stupid that it's fun. Really enjoy that car. Again, it's a car I would never own, but God, it's so much fun to drive. It is really, really cool. So this one's a little more pedestrian, but the Ferrari 360 as a manual would be my number 7. It is a really, really good car, banging through the gears. It's got just enough power where it's kind of, it's not quite what I'm gonna say like slow car, like the whole adage of driving a slow car fast. It's not slow, but it's not fast. So it's just kind of like in the middle. You can drive it with your foot to the floor a lot and you won't go to jail immediately like some of the modern stuff. Like you do that in a 720S, you know, put your foot to the floor for 3 seconds and you're breaking the speed limit anywhere in the country. But it's super fun, great handling, just it's comfortable, it's nice. I think the maintenance is not awful. They're just great cars and I really enjoy driving it. And so that transitions really smoothly into number 6, which is the Ferrari F430 as a manual. The same thing, just a little bit better. Better brakes, better suspension setup, and a lot more power. And personally, I think it looks better. So all those things combined, and it just makes it an even better car to drive. It's just super fun, really enjoyable, obviously a lot more reliable than the 360. And geez, we sell so many of those cars and we do so many conversions. I have to remind myself of how much fun and how special it is. We get so used to it. It's kind of strange because these things get normalized to us, like, and I have to remind myself that this is not typical, like playing with these cars, getting the chance to drive these things so often. What usually happens is I'll have a period of time where I don't drive one for a while, and then I'll get back into a 430 and go out and bang some gears and drive it on some back roads, and I'm like, man, it just reminds me of how much fun that car is, and it just immediately makes you smile and you think, yeah, this is just such a fun car. Okay, now we're moving into something a little bit more crazy. I would say my number 5 is the 488 Pista. It's just amazing. Obviously the 488 is amazing too, but the Pista is just ridiculous. Absolutely incredible car, looks beautiful, and just so damn fast. The handling's so sharp and precise. It just blows your mind. Unfortunately, I didn't do a review of one of those yet, but I have had the luxury of driving one, and it absolutely blows my mind. It is a ridiculously fun car. If I had a spare $600,000 laying around, it would probably be one of the cars. It would definitely be one of the cars in my garage. I'll put it that way. I absolutely love those cars. Sticking with the mid-engine V8 special cars, my number 4 is the Ferrari 430 Scuderia. Amazing car. I actually think the Scuderia is more fun to drive than the Pista. Not that it's anywhere near the same performance, but I just feel like it's so special. It just has great noises, it's wonderful handling, it just feels like a race car. It feels more analog. It's the car is making you drive it, and the reality is the Pista, even though it's so much faster, the computers are intervening a lot. It's more of a function of the computers saving your ass. Like I would never drive a Pista with all the computers off. I'd probably die, immediately. The Scuderia is fast, but not so fast that you can drive, like you can drive that car with the computers off and you're not necessarily going to die unless you're pushing it to the absolute limits. Then okay, it could bite you, but it's just well balanced, super fun. The SF2 transmission, even though it's the herky-jerky, F1, but it is the best F1 they ever made, and it shifts so fast. And yet it's actually capable of being smooth and reasonable when you're not driving it hard. I love that car. I miss those cars, and I think it's a shame that they shot up in value so much this year after I sold mine. I totally missed that one. Well, Who could have predicted that? All right, this one's gonna be controversial. I think other people would rank this car higher maybe, but my number 3, so we're down to the top 3, my number 3 car I've ever driven is a Ferrari F40. Holy shit! Holy shit! It's so iconic. It's so special. It's of a different era. And obviously it's nowhere near the performance of anything modern. That's fine. The driving experience of that car is it's almost breathtaking because you feel like you're living in driving history, and it just makes you feel like you're connected to the whole Ferrari ecosystem. It's like the epitome of iconic cars in the Ferrari world. If you ask so many of the Ferrari fans out there, they're gonna immediately say that their favorite Ferrari is the F40, and kind of lives up to that expectations. And again, don't meet your heroes. You gotta have some expectations of like, this is a car built in the 80s, but when you put that into context, you're like, oh my Lord, like in the 80s, this was outrageous. And the styling, I mean, nothing has ever come close to styling like that again. Nothing really just encapsulates that dream. You know, that's just, this is the type of car that was on the wall and was so iconic. There's just so much to say about that car. That just driving it felt so special, and it's so memorable. It's difficult to drive. It's heavy. The turbo takes forever to kick on, but it just was so cool, so much fun. What an experience, absolutely amazing. Okay, my number 2 car is gonna be a bit specific to me, and a lot of people won't have this on their list because they've never experienced it, but I would say my number 2 car is my old GT40. It was just unbelievable to drive that car. It is absolutely awful and terrible in almost every way you can imagine. It's loud, it's uncomfortable, it's kind of hot, it's heavy, everything takes effort. You're sweating while you're driving it, and yet every single time I drove it, I would get out and be like, I want to drive it again. I want to drive more. It just always was exciting, always an adventure, so memorable, so interesting. And I feel like it's unfortunate that that car doesn't get the place in people's minds that it does. And I understand it, maybe it's just because it's out 1 or 2 generations, but my God, it just was so incredible to drive that car. The sound, it's one of the only cars, like even just now talking about it, it's raising the hairs on my neck. Like, it just was crazy. And every single time any car fan got to take a ride in it or drive in it, they were just like, holy shit, this is insane. It is absolutely ridiculous. It's literally driving a race car in the street. And so it's completely awful. I mean, there's no doubt about it. It's absolutely awful to drive, and I think that's what makes it so special. My God, what an amazing car. Okay, we're at the top of the list. Number 1, what is my all-time top car that I've ever driven?
Drum roll, please.
And that would have to be the 458 Speciale.
Shifts a lot faster, doesn't it?
Those shifts! I think the 458 is the best car ever made. I've said that many, many times. It's just it's almost perfection. You know, there's no such thing as perfection. It's super close. And the Speciale is just that much more. It's just a 458 to the next level. And obviously the practicality of driving the Speciale regularly, given their values, is probably not feasible anymore, considering they're approaching $1 million for just regular coupes, and the Apertas are well over $1 million now. It's unfortunate. I would say the closest analog is, of course, the 458. I just didn't want to put the 458 and the 458 Speciale separately. Even then, I would probably have ranked the 458 as my number 1, but the Speciale is just that little extra oomph on the 458. The balance, the braking, the acceleration, the shifting, the handling, the comfort, the styling, the sounds that it makes. Everything about it, it checks every single box that's just good. It makes you feel like a superstar driving it because it's so capable, yet it's analog enough that you feel the responsiveness of the car, you feel the chassis, you feel the suspension, you feel the steering. Everything gives you feedback. You feel connected to the car and you feel like you can drive it so hard. It just wants more. Even then, when you drive it hard and you approach the limits, it gives you plenty of warning. It's not like one of these cars that's like a 930 turbo, you know, like you drive it and then you hit the limit and then you're dead. You know, it's like, no, this thing gives you plenty of warning, lots of recovery time. It's just so good, so capable. I will have a hard time ever finding anything I like more than the 458 and the 458 Speciale. It's just that, and it's just that impressive. So that's my list. What is your list? Can you put your top 10 or 11 in the comments below? Anything that I missed that I should have, that I have driven, anything that I haven't driven that I need to get on the list, let me know in the comments below. Thank you guys, as always, for watching. Check out our website, normalguysupercar.com, and NG Supercars, our dealership. And we appreciate all of your support, and we'll see you guys in the next one. We're gonna be doing a lot of cool car stuff. You're gonna wanna stay tuned. It's gonna be sweet.